You're starting to do mitzvahs. What about your parents? Are you communicating with them? Are you explaining yourself? Are you? Don't sit by. Don't get locked into yourself, because psychologically that's very dangerous. Stay in touch. Stay open. In fact, be more open. Take a greater interest in another person's mitzvah. Don't close up. So it's not just learning. It's a whole life. You have to challenge a bacher. How are you changing the world? Of course, you have to learn. You got to know what change is appropriate. But it's lilmeid al manas lases. So it's the davening, it's the tefillin, it's the kosher, Yireh Shamayim. It's. I mean, you have to go through a list of loises.
Even to get them involved in chesed activities, packing food for poor people, these different things that somehow aren't viewed as a boyish stagging, but to give him.
No, if it becomes just learning, this is not for. I don't know if it's not for our times or it's not for Americans. We have to take responsibility for our environment, like the environmentalists. But we're saving souls, not whales. So there has to be a lot of ma'aseh b'torah. Everything you learn has to be relevant and immediately translatable into action, or attitude, or something. But it has to be relevant. The bacher starts to drift into an irrelevant world of gedorim and theories and machlokes, and it's really not helpful. You have to keep them rooted.
And I'm trying to live up to what you're saying from the Rebbe and from this derech the Maisa. That's what I'm doing. But hashkafically, I'm still trying to understand, based on all the Am Yisrael, the Gedolim, and all the big kennesses and get-togethers against the internet and all this and that. So it's very confusing. Even though Lamaisa, I'm doing what you're saying, and doing. But with the Rebbe's not here to paskin for us Lamaisa. And are there poskim in Chabad? Like I feel like I'm a bit, lacking backup as a mahanich involved on online kiruv, to feel like I'm doing it b'leiv of sholem. I'm doing Ratzon Hashem. I'm not doing chas sholem. So I have rabbonim. There are rabbonim who individually are taking a bit of achrayus, but it's very quietly. I feel you're doing it publicly, which I have tremendous covered. That you have the koyach, and Baruch Hashem, you have the Rebbe. But at the Maisa, is there a posik? Is it enough what the Rebbe left us to feel confident that that's Ratzon Hashem, or do we, based on the Gedolim, are we being cholich, God forbid, on something that, or we're just not understanding how to balance it out? You understand my question? Yeah?
I would go as far as saying that many of the Gedolim are completely out of touch. And that's exactly the thing I'm talking about. Yeah. You live in a rarefied world of Torah in the head. You don't realize the world you're living in, and you can't really relate to what's going on. That kindness with the internet, I thought it was embarrassing. All the greatest minds and thinkers and leaders of a generation got together because Mikan Zindig. It's a crisis. It's a crisis. There's a Yetzer Hara and people are sinning. It's a crisis. It's embarrassing. It's not a crisis. It's a Yetzer Hara. Not new. The same Yetzer Hara. Now people said to me, yeah, but the internet brings the Yetzer Hara into your house. I said, and where was it until now? You had to go looking for it involved. The Yetzer Hara was always right there in your house. It is out of balance. That's why I'm saying the Sur Meirah can't become that heavy that it outweighs the Asay Tov. But it takes a little chutzpah to say, I'm going to be a mashpia. I'm going to lead others. It's a gefällige chutzpah.
Yeah.
But Baruch Hashem, we have chutzpah.
The Rebbe gave us the sibui to do that. He gave us the strength. He,
Yes.
as a posik, as someone to manhig Am
The
Yisrael.
Rebbe said to a guy who came to 770 for a while, and he was going back to his campus. So the Rebbe said to him, when you get back to campus, remind all your friends to put on tefillin. He said, Rebbe, I don't put on tefillin. So the Rebbe said, that's not their fault. Why should they suffer?
Wow.
I mean, this is already going quite far. The guy does not put on tefillin himself, but he should tell all his friends to put on tefillin. Why? Because he knows about tefillin and his friends don't know. You know something, share it. You're not a tzaddik, who are you to say, and you're a hypocrite because you yourself don't put them on? That's your problem. Why should they suffer? So at the same time that we admit that we're not role models and we're not perfect in our own, so fine. So in your spare time, take care of that. But your main time should be aseites. This the klal of sur meirah first, and then aseites. Not these days, because the aseites is so lacking. If you do asur meirah, you're left with nothing. You're left with shigoyim. Alright, so I think that today, with the emergency situation, do what you can do. If you have sveikas, in your spare time, call somebody, talk to somebody, but don't stop. And if you make mistakes, your mistakes are 10 times better than what else is going on out there.
It's encouragement.
One issue that I think maybe it's classified as the Yitzhar that undercuts a lot in